A peaceful life on this place we call Earth. Yeah, that's right. I'm living in harmony on this egg-shaped planet despite being a loner. Hi there, I'm Kai Thomas, your average male in his mid-30s. I'm kinda a loner, as I've mentioned, like having no friends, no hot chick, no social life. But I don't regret any of it. I do have my own apartment and a job which I'm currently on my way to, by the way.
Kai arrives at a traffic light. As he awaits for the light to turn green, a slender body caught his attention from the corner of his eye. He looks into the direction of this mysterious figure and a look of awe formed on his face. Ocean blue eyes, heart-shaped lips, long reddish-brown hair, red freckled cheeks and porcelain skin. Kai saw a lot of beautiful girls, but something about this particular woman kept his attention. The woman is on her phone while she walks in his direction. As she lifts her head, she immediately catches gaze. A light breeze blew over Kai as a look of surprise formed on his face because of her smile. He silently stands as he thinks to himself.
Man, this girl looks like a character from a fantasy world. Such a lolly with a bitch face, I'd totally marry her, he.
It was such a beautiful moment until it was interrupted by the girl suddenly sneezing.
Achoo! Oh, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. How can I make up?
Kai's expression went from blushing to confused as he replies.
Okay.
Anything. Please tell me what I should do.
Man, this is unexpected. I'm trying to hold out, but she looks like an angel. This is way too much. She even wants to make up to me of all people. I should take this chance to. No, what am I thinking? Okay, here goes. Can you tell me your name?
Oh, of course. That's an easy enough task. My name is Giovanna.
Kai stood silent for a moment and simply replied with an okay. Giovanna took 2 steps backwards and said,
I have to go now. I'll see you around.
Giovanna ran off as she throws around her hair and those sexy hips of hers, while Kai simply stood there and watched as the distance grows between them.
Damn it. I'm such an idiot. I should have asked for her number instead. I didn't even have anything better to say then, okay? I guess I have zero experience with people, especially with women. Well, okay. Time to head to work.
Kai arrived at his workplace where he is met by his coworker Noah, an average-looking teen.
Hey there, Kai. Looks like you're late again.
I know. Just had a little problem with the landlord, that's all.
Ah, those problems? Quite common. To think I also face them most of the time.
Is the boss around?
Yeah, you'll find him in the back.
Kai headed to his boss's office, and as he came closer to his door, he could hear him shouting at someone over the phone.
I'll say this for the last time. You are going to regret this. I'm done with this crap business of ours.
The boss slammed the phone with aggression and instantly looked at Kai, who stood patiently waiting for him to finish and went to take a seat at his desk.
Oh, good day, Sir Hawk.
Yeah, what do you want?
Well, sir.
Well, what? If you were just planning on sitting there, you might as well have been out of my sight.
Right, sir.
Kai stood up from his chair, walked to the door and gently closed it. On his way to Noah, he thinks to himself.
Phew. Thought that I was going to lose my job there for a sec. Normally, he would have lashed out at me for being late. But this was beyond my expectations.
He came to a standstill right before Noah, who was busy cleaning and packing a shelf, and muttered.
What a relief.
Were you saying something?
No, nothing. Was just talking to myself. Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah, ask away.
Can you please go and deliver a bag of hazelnuts at Mrs. Anderson for me?
Yeah, of course.
Noah left the store in a hurry and then left Kai all on his own.
Noah, a new worker at our store. He started working here about 2 weeks ago. He's currently working as my assistant, and I can feel that he also became quite attached to me for some reason. Anyways.
Kai walked over to a chair by the large window and took a seat. The store, usually bustling with activity, was empty. Not a single person entered or even passed by.
Man, I wonder why it's so awfully quiet in here. I guess I should take a...
Before Kai could finish his words, he fell into a slumber. He even heard a voice in his sleep saying, "Who are? You have to. Rid your world. I have failed you. I am a failure of a servant. I'll give my last to you, the power you need. Your Majesty. Kai woke up, fell off from his chair, and screamed.
Wait!
Oh, here is no one. I wonder how long I've been out.
He stood up from the ground, and then he looked at the clock that was hanging on the wall and said to himself,
Man, I'm late? It's already 6 p.m. I am toast. Was I really out for that long? I wonder how many customers I have missed. The boss is going to be pissed when he finds out. On second thought, maybe he will let it slide.
Kai hurriedly closed up the store, casting one last glance at the eerily empty space before stepping out into the brisk night air. As he made his way to his apartment, the glow of city lights reflected off the damp pavement, creating a mosaic of colors beneath his feet.
Man, if I didn't fall asleep, I wouldn't have been in this situation now. That was irresponsible of me. By the way, I wonder what that voice I heard in my dream earlier was. It sounded like someone struggling to breathe or something. Was it just a dream? It sounded so real and strangely familiar. Nah, it's just my imagination.
Kai arrived at his apartment and slowly opened his door. He fumbled for the light switch. As soon as he flicked it on, an intense chill ran down his spine, leaving him frozen in the doorway, unable to utter a word. What Kai saw on the walls and floor was blood, a lot of blood. A few hours before Kai's incident, after he had left the store, Mr. Hawk was lurking behind his desk. It seemed as if he was hiding from someone or something, thinking to himself,
I wonder what that was just now. I felt some sort of pressure consuming the entire atmosphere and going straight through my chest. The next thing I know, I'm hiding behind this damn desk for some reason. Where did that damn Kai go? Damn it.
The scene immediately shifts back to Kai, who stood in the doorway, shocked by what he had just witnessed. He glanced side to side with only his eyes. On his right, his belongings were completely destroyed. On his left, a trail of blood led to a person lying at the end of it. Kai's legs almost gave way as his heart rate rapidly increases. With first beat, chills ran through his entire body. The second beat, almost passed out. In the third beat, thoughts came swarming into his head.
That's Noah?
Kai's coworker had been murdered in his apartment. Trembling with fear, he started to panic and walked around in circles, uttering Noah's name. Then, Kai stood still for a moment and thought to himself,
What should I do? Should I call the police? Wait a minute. How did Noah get into my apartment in the first place? And who on earth could have killed him? Okay, I need to keep a cool head and call the authorities. They should be able to solve this.
Kai took out his cell phone from his right jeans pocket. With trembling fingers, he typed the digits 911, getting a little frustrated in the process. When he finally entered the numbers, he spoke softly.
Hello, officer. Hello? Anybody there?
Oh, is this the great Kai?
Kai's blood ran cold when he heard the voice. It left an ominous aura in the atmosphere. He immediately dropped his phone and took a step back. Then, he quickly picked it up again and said,
Who are you? And what do you want from me?
911, what's your emergency?
Well, ma'am.
He then explained the situation to the lady he was talking to over the phone. She comforted him and reassured his safety as she could hear him deliberately stuttering. Shortly thereafter, Kai was taken in for questioning by Officer Mello, the chief detective.
Well, Mr. Thomas, according to the report, is it true that you and Noah have only known each other for about 2 weeks?
That's correct, sir.
And since you've known each other for such a short period of time, I can assume that you know nothing about him, like his relatives, lifestyle, or who he comes into contact with, and so on? No need to rush, just take your time.
Mello's soft, seductive tone and his comforting words have swelled up in Kai's chest. In fact, Kai had felt this feeling since the start of the questioning, he just hadn't noticed it yet.
And no, sir, I know nothing.
Can you tell us how Noah entered your room without having your keys? Were you with him this evening by any chance?
No, sir, I don't.
Well then the last question, Mr. Thomas. Are you the one who killed Noah?
An unexpected question that left Kai dumbstruck. This startling question breached his very understanding of what kindness is. He sat quietly while thinking to himself.
What is this guy talking about? I feel troubled yet calm, and I'm reluctant to answer his question. Is it a trap? What is he trying to get at? I should answer him, or will he suspect me? Suspect me?
He took a deep breath and started speaking.
Sir, I swear I don't know anything. I just went back home from work and saw that Noah was on the floor, covered in blood.
Mello looked into Kai's eyes for a few seconds before pulling out a laptop from underneath the table. He opened it and clicked the mouse a few times before turning it to face Kai. A creepy sensation formed all over Kai's body. He was shown footage of himself and Noah walking into his apartment. They seemed to be arguing about something until Kai pulled out a knife from a knife stand and stabbed his friend at least 7 times. Utterly speechless by what he had just seen, Kai remained silent, even though he wanted to defend himself.
Anything to say about this, Mr. Thomas?
Mello closed the laptop and stashed it back under the table.
Well, Mr. Thomas, I've muted our conversation so that the people on the other side of the glass cannot hear us. I can tell that you are not lying, which confirms my suspicions about what actually happened.
Kai was somewhat confused, but relieved to hear that Mello believed him. He felt as though his body was ridiculously light, almost as if he were floating.
Huh? Why, sir?
I dug through some street footage which I can't show you right now. The time you and Noah were walking on the streets does not match the time you arrived at your apartment. The footage from the streets shows a timestamp of 1710, while the one from your apartment shows 1708, creating a 2-minute discrepancy, which means that someone has tampered with the footages.
Officer Mello strategically looked at the silver glass window and nodded his head, signaling to his companions that he had everything under control.
Well, Mr. Thomas, is there anything Noah said before he left?
Kai was silent for a few seconds, deep in thought. He bowed his head and looked at the table in front of him.
Was there anything he told me? Think, Kai. No need to rush. I have to calm down and answer him. Wait a minute, that voice I heard in my dream. Officer Mello, I heard him in my sleep.
Heard what exactly, Kai?
I heard Noah.
Out of nowhere, a huge explosion echoed through the room opposite to where Kai was being questioned. Alarms blared in the room where Kai was held. A female officer rushed in to inform Officer Mello about the situation.
Sir, we are under attack.
What exactly is going on out there, Tina?
Just as Tina was about to state the problem, a huge orb hovered above her head and exploded. Kai's ears rang loudly, and his vision blurred as he stared at the light hanging from the ceiling. Just before he passed out, he saw someone bending over him in panic. While he slowly fades away,